Gorgeous souls, welcome to another Heart and Soul episode. And today, Janet and I, we are talking about wintering. What a beautiful word. And we have about a foot and a half snow, so 45 centimeters outside. So the perfect time to rest a bit, to take that in breath and allow yourself to be more. What is wintering all about for you, Janet?
I have to say, Caroline, for me, the word wintering was inspired. I must share with you this book by Catherine May. And it's a book about sort of a journey, a healing, stepping back from the world. And this book was released in perfect timing for when the lockdowns. So this book actually ended up being a New York bestseller. And it's been amazing because it just hit home exactly what the world was going through at that point. And it was never written with that in mind, but it just happened to come into the world at the right time. And I've read this book and I've read it now several times, and there's definitely, it touches your soul because you do feel that sometimes in life, not just that even at this period of time, but at life, there's sometimes a period where you're also in a wintering state where you need to step back from the world. And she's kind of summed it up here, what she considers wintering to be. This is the author. This is wintering. It is the courage to stare down the worst parts of our experience and commit to healing them the best we can. And I think that's sort of, sometimes what we need to do is it in life is that sometimes we have to step back and allow ourselves to heal. And to be quite honest, as you sort of say, this time of the year is actually a really good time to do that on the cycle, on the seasonal cycle of things. So Caroline, what does it really mean to you as well?
Yeah, for me, it's taking that rest, being inside, being more cozy. And yeah, it's connected to that inner peace. I feel when it's snowing, the world comes to a standstill and everything, the sounds are muffled. It's so still. And for me, it's also wintering. Yeah, it's about with the season, allow that energy of being, not having to do all the time and going more with the flow and reading a good book on the sofa with a blanket. And it's the stillness, that going inwards. It's like with the plants, they go inwards, they regather their strength and wait for spring, and then they come out again. Like with a tulip, the energy is now all in the bulb, and it's just the waiting and storing and getting ready sort of for spring. But being, I think for me, wintering the word is being and allowing yourself to be, because we can push ourselves, and especially in winter, I think we push ourselves more. Instead, when our body and soul and heart need that rest more, that going inward, doing, small things, and maybe coming back to olden times, when you just had a candle and then you stayed in bed till the sun came up, and you went to bed early, and you stayed more indoors. You had your wood, and you just take that stillness with you in your heart and soul.
Exactly. I mean, to me, I also think of the animals in hibernation, that they, exactly the same as the plants, they sort of go into a cave or whatever, they store up, and then they go into a sleep. And it is almost like that nurturing, it's that sort of need to nurture ourselves, like to step back and allow that time. Because yes, the dark age, I suffer with SAD, like the seasonal affective disorder. I am not good with the long, dark and cold and wet and damp here. Not the snow that we had in Switzerland. I know what you mean, is that it used to feel like a white duvet going over the world, and it was sort of like somebody tucking you in. Apart from when you had to shovel the snow, but otherwise than that, it was always just looked lovely. But here it's just this like damp cold and the wind, and it just goes through you. I mean, I had a walk down by the seafront this morning. It was quite invigorating. That's the word I'm going to use, invigorating. But at the same time, you know, it's nice to see the seasonal differences. It's taking that on board as well, and getting out and getting the fresh air while it is daylight. But in the evenings, I mean, I find that, yes, I go to bed earlier and I take time to read my book, because that's something that nurtures me, and I enjoy it. And the same like getting snuggy into a bed with a hot water bottle. That's me, you know. I just want to be cozy. I don't really care, you know. I like to light the fire. I like to, you know, be cozy and warm and safe in the house, and not have to go out.
Totally get you. And that's the thing. It's allowing ourselves to rest more, to be more, to do all the cozy things we so crave, you know. And in our sort of stressed world, we always have to perform, we have to do more, and we keep pushing ourselves. And I think winter is a time to truly listen to your body and adjust to that. Take a slower space. And then for me, definitely, you know, Beltane, sort of first inkling of spring, and I'm sort of have a fresh energy. I have like a spring in walking around, and I'm so ready then for blooms to come. But right now it's that going inwards and being and cozying up, and it's hard. Do you have any tips that can help others that are sort of in that hamster wheel and have to keep doing and keep pushing themselves to truly allow themselves to allow the time of wintering?
I know that here in the UK, Christmas is a big thing and causes a lot of people a lot of extra work. There's a lot of financial extra pressure on people. And I think that what is nice is that make a list of what actually needs to be done, and, you know, just do what needs to be done. And, you know, people are running crazy to the shops backwards and forwards, and you sort of think, well, you know, can you make it easier for yourself? Can you order it online? You know, do you really need to be doing all of that? I think you really need to sort of step back and really assess things and really work out what needs to be done. I mean, obviously as well, there's commitments at school nativity plays and things like that. You know, so make the time that you are aware of those important family things, that what is important to you and to your family. And the rest of it doesn't really matter. Because I think that sometimes here people are losing sight of what Christmas spirit is meant to be. And it's meant to be about being with family and being together, that togetherness, particularly at this time of the year, and the lights and everything. It just makes you feel good. So really spend some time, just take a look of like what's going on in your life, and what do you actually, you know, what can you say no to?
Yeah.
And what you know, what really you need to be saying yes to. What about you, Caroline?
Definitely prioritize. And I mean, years ago, after my separation, I was with my children, and I was sort of, you know, I had this high expectations of me. I wanted to be the perfect mom and have everything perfect. And I always cooked from scratch, you know, with lots of vegetables and everything. And then one day because the back and forth and everything, I didn't have enough time. And then I got a bag of frozen vegetables, and I felt so guilty. But I realized how much time it was saving me, and how much more treasure time I had with my children, because when I was less stressed, then I could more enjoy the time with my children. So just being aware of things. I mean, I love doing cookies on my own. And of course, when the kids were small and they could cut it out, but then I buy them now. It's some things simplify your life. You don't have to do everything. You can also say, this year, maybe I make this batch, or next year I make another batch or something. It doesn't have to be all. I think in the craziness leading up to Christmas, we expect, we all want to be perfect, perfect daughter, perfect wife, perfect mom, whatever. And take a step back. Like Janet said, make a list and prioritize what is truly heart and soul, bringing your heart and soul to sing. Visit that nativity, play with your children, but then maybe have an easy dinner or go out for a snack or something, combine it in an easy way. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Take the time, because the time we spend with our children, the time we spend with our family, and the love we feel around Christmas, that's all about the season. It's not how many cookies we made, or that we had the perfect or the gorgeous, amazing over Christmas dinner. It's the simple things that count more, and it's the memories we make that our children will remember. And they will also remember how busy or stressed their mother or parent was, so time is the most valuable gift you can give yourself and your loved ones.
Well, exactly, because we say about, Christmas, we think of it as being a time of celebration, a time of joy. We hear Merry Christmas, Happy Christmas. And for many people, the whole pressure of it and that perfectionism and expectations about the world, it's too much. And you're absolutely right. Let it go. And what's the more important things is those, like playing a game with your kids and having fun. It isn't about the big expensive presents. It's not about that. It's about, making it fun and getting people involved and singing and anything that just makes you feel good.
Definitely. And it's the season of joy and love, and anything that truly brings joy to you, and hug your loved ones. And it's card games, any games, that's always, it's the time we spend, the memories we make, or go out and build a snowman, or be a child in the snow again if you have snow, or take time also to remember your fondest memories about your Christmas time, or your time with your mom or dad or siblings. And take that time, maybe write it all out, and then see what are the commonalities. What were you doing with whom, and how was it feeling? And integrate some of your fondest memories and create them with your family, or share them, when you still have your mom and sit at the table. Share with her how wonderful those memories were and how much you treasured them, and share them with the siblings, or make a list of everything that was good this year and share it at Christmas time. And another thing is, for each member of your family, write down 3 things you totally love about them. Their kindness, how they smile, whatever, and give that as a gift. and you will see tears in their eyes. And that's the precious gift, because so many of us, we don't see ourselves from the outside perspective, and getting a little note of confirmation how wonderful, beautiful soul we are is the most treasured gift we can give. And it doesn't cost a thing, and it comes from the heart and the soul.
Exactly, that's beautiful. Yeah, it is about just tuning into that spirit of making treasured memories, because things come and go. We can lose things, they get broken or whatever, but the memories are things that we can treasure in our heart and soul for a lifetime and several lifetimes. And that's the important thing. So wintering is really about sort of taking that all on board. And because we've got the festive period in the middle of it, so America, they've just had Thanksgiving. I mean, there's Hanukkah, there's different celebrations at this time of the year. There's the Festival of Lights, Diwali. So, anything that you're celebrating, I love that, communities come together. I love that families come together. It's about coming together and, spending that quality time and in a precious way. I mean, there's lots of choirs here at the moment, singing lots of Christmas carols and things, and I love that. I wish I could sing, but I love going to a Christmas carol service, because that to me, I just love that. So it is about finding the things that you really, really enjoy.
Yeah, bringing that home and sharing that, and be that light and peace in the whole hectic leading up to Christmas. And remember, less is more. So maybe one trip to get all the presents you need, in a calm time fashion. And if people stress around you, just remember to come back to your heart and be calm in that whole stress around you. Don't pick up on the stress, and bring your inner peace with you wherever you go, and share the light. Share the light, yes. And be jolly whenever you can, and make the most out of it. And don't overdo things, especially in winter. Our energy is lower, and we are sort of in that wise woman energy. Use that, connect to the wise woman within, and that groundedness, that earth energy.
And the other thing at the moment they're doing here, which I think is also good, is if you happen to be someone who does have time on your hands, is there's a lot of people at this time of year who are isolated and lonely. And, it's maybe an opportunity for you to think about, well, can you give back? Maybe volunteer to help out at a soup kitchen, or collecting toys for a children's hospital or something like that, or calling somebody who's lonely, that they have some interaction and conversation with someone. There's lots of ways as well that you can give your time. And that is also precious.
Yeah, time is most precious, whether you spend it with your family or with someone in need, and sit with them, include them in the whole wintering. Sometimes it's just sitting together or reading a book, and Do you have more to share on wintering, or shall we go on with books for next week?
Yeah. I think sort of we get the idea of wintering now, that it is a time to just
go within and heal. I love that you mentioned that healing, because when we take time, then we can settle, and only in that state we can sort of really let go and heal and listen within. And that was a precious passage you shared. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Janet has an author page. She has many gorgeous books in the back. If you're watching the video, you can see the Uplift book, a collaboration, and then Naked Knitting Club. And it's really wonderful. If you're still looking for gifts, Janet has many books. But next week is the 12th of December, 12/12, and we have amazing news, Janet.
We do. We have the next book 2 in the Heart and Soul series, based on our conversations in the podcast and the YouTube show and our blog posts all coming together into a book. So this is the next book in the series, and it will be released next Tuesday, as Caroline says, the 12th of December. And we're very excited about it because it is a lovely little book. It is an ebook that you can easily download from Amazon, and you can sort of step into it, and covers different things like we mentioned today, like boundaries and forgiveness and different topics. So please check it out. We'll share links to it as well. But it's a nice little book for this time of the year as well, for when you're wintering, that you can just mull over and then tune in. If you've missed some of the podcast or YouTube episodes, then you can tune in.
Exactly. Plus also with the ebook, you can link on all the extra goodies that there are and get even more insights. And if you're still looking for a Christmas present for a loved one, this book is absolutely wonderful. And it comes from the heart and soul, a soulful gift.
Absolutely.
We will share the link in the comments or in the episode. So thank you so much for being here, Janet. Absolutely love our Heart and Souls episode, and deeply grateful for you. And of course, wintering, sort of, we're all wrapped up here nicely with scarves and sweaters. So take time for yourself. Your heart and your soul will be eternally grateful that you connect. Thank you so much for being here.
Love and light, blessings.